meet my fellow witches, and welcome to my channel Inside the Broom Closet. On my channel I'll be creating simple witchy crafts that fellow closet witches like myself can make and enjoy. Today, as an intro, I'll be creating a set of simple element jars for a travelling or personal mini altar. So firstly, what you'll need is the jars. You can use any jar and they can really be any size. However, as mentioned, I'll be making these for a travelling altar to go in a small tin. So I've picked these up from a local cheap shop. There's about 10 in a packet normally. I have been using them for personal spell jars for friends and family. But obviously they're going to be a perfect size for a travelling altar. With that, you'll need items that represent the elements earth, fire, air and water. I've decided I'm going to put some crystals in with it that for me represent those elements as well, and I will also be drawing the element sign on the jar because as a new witch or a baby witch, it is sometimes looking and learning, things being repetitive help. So I figured if I put that on, I will learn to relate the element to that sign. So that's something that you could do as well. So firstly, also what I'm doing is I want to make them look pretty at the end, so I'm going to seal them with wax. So the easiest way to do that is to use a tea light candle, so that's burning, ready to go, so that I can show you how to seal them at the end. The most simplest way that I know how to seal the spell jars or seal the jars. So firstly, we will start with fire. So the fire symbol, as you know, is a triangle. I guess you'd call it the normal way up. So I'm just using a permanent marker that I know works well on glass, just to make a little fire symbol. Now obviously it's hard, like generally what represents fire obviously is flame. It's very hard to keep in a bottle this size, same with a candle. You can use ashes and all that sort of stuff, but I heard someone say to use a match because that's what lights, starts the fire. So what I'll do is, this is one that I've used to light the candle, so I'll just measure the length that I need. Cut that off, and that will go in my jar along with a piece of red jasper that for me symbolises fire. So that's fire done. These are very simple, they're not too onerous to make, and if anyone saw them sitting there they'd just think, oh, that's a little cute catchy little thing, and not necessarily understand what's behind it. So the next one is air. So air is a triangle. The symbol for air is a triangle that is the right way up, and then it has a line at the top, so like that. So for air, I've decided to use a feather. That should fit in there nicely. And the crystal that I've decided to use is moonstone. I'm a Libra, so an air sign, and moonstone are ruled by the moon, so for me, to me that symbolises air perfectly. Again, it's up to you what you put in them, and again it doesn't have to be very big. So there's a nice little air one. The next one will be water. So for water, it's a triangle again, but it's sort of, I guess, upside down. For those who don't quite. So for this one, I didn't want to use water because in case it seeps through, it's going to be in a travelling altar that's going to be lying down, just in case it leaks. So what I've decided to use is I found some broken shells. I'm just going to use my mortar and pestle, and I'm just going to crush them a little bit, because as we know, a lot of shells that we find on the beach are crushed. Not many, just enough and just big enough so that they'll fit. In the jar. It's up to you if you want to really fill your jar up or whatever the case is, but I might use a bit more. I don't want them too full, but that's just not quite enough. So I've just got the shell in there, and the crystal that I've decided to use is going to be lapis lazuli. It's blue, so hence the water. And there is a little water one. So for earth, which, keeping with the trend, is another triangle, upside down with a line. And for this one, it's very simple. I'm just going to use a little bit of salt to represent the earth. Oh, too much. And for me, the crystal that I'm using is Unakite, as it's green like the earth. So that's my representation for earth. So there you have it. I've got the small travelling element jars, so fire, air, water and earth. And I don't think the candle's burnt long enough at this point, but I'll still show you sort of how I seal them. I just take the top of the jars once it's burnt in, and I dip it in the wax like that, and just roll it around so that you don't get the big drips, and then just till you're happy with it. I'm only going to put a light one on it, and as you can see, it forms a nice cute little wax. I'm using white because white can represent any colour, and I don't have enough tea lights that for the different colours of the elements, so I'm just keeping it with the white. I'll just have to relight that. Just to remelt that a bit. That's just my chair. As you can see, it seals the cork in there, gives them that little witchy vibe. and then you just keep doing that. As I said, this is for these small ones or anything that fits in a tea light size. It's the easiest way to put your wax on your spell jars. Otherwise I use taper candles and I drip wax. It's a lot messier that way, but for the larger jars, that's what I do. So it's just enough heat. And then of course, if you want to, you can tie a little bit of string around them, either cute with made of jute or string for the colour of each of the elements. And there you have your little travelling or mini altar element jars. So there you have a set of element jars for your travel or mini altar. I hope you enjoyed my first video. If you did, it would be great if you could give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos that will include crafting items like witches' balls, spell jars and bath salt potions, to name a few, as well as ideas on celebrating Sabbaths and practicing your craft as a closet witch. Thank you for watching. Merry part and merry meet again.